Welcome, friends. In this video, I'll be covering 4 conservative chess openings that are deceptively simple but very powerful. And then at the very end, 2 bonus features. So the first one I want to cover is the Reti opening, which is you just get your knight out. That's your very first move. Knight to g3, and then they respond. In this particular game, I was playing a 1,000 ELO rated bot at chess.com and played pretty good, but also made some mistakes, which isn't uncommon to find mistakes. Anyway, they get this pawn out, and then I took with the knight. Normally, you wouldn't move your knight twice in an opening, but if you see an opportunity, take it. Why not? And then they move their pawn up, but this is getting the queen's pawn, and then the queen's pawn for the gambit is my standard go-to opening with the Reti. Even if the knight has remained here, I still want to get these 2 pawns out. It gives me the flexibility and the power that you would with the queen's gambit opening, plus you have your knight out. Get your bishop out, and then they move their pawn, and you get your other pawn out, and that gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of visibility to enemy territory. And it's called the Reti. It starts with your king's knight that you get out to g3. The next one I'm going to cover is the Caro Kann for black. And so really it looks deceptively simple, but it's so powerful. There's so many different lines, and there's a lot written about it that you can study. King's pawn up. You get your pawn up to c6, and then they get their pawn up, and they think that they've taken complete control of the center, which in a way they have. But then you get your pawn up, and this is where they can either take. A lot of stuff written about what to do with that. If you retake, you can get your knight up here, which gives you, visibility into, enemy territory, etc. Gives you a lot of power, but the structure is this particular pawn structure is the Caro Kann for black. Fantastic opening. Play it, enjoy it. And the next one is the London system. It's deceptively simple. It's a system, so you can play it no matter what's going on, is you can play the London system. So you get your queen's pawn up. They respond queen's pawn. You get your bishop out right away. You want to get it on the outside of the little structure you're going to build. They get their knight out, and then you get your other pawn up because you're building a little place. You're going to have this as a protected place for your light squared bishop in just a minute. They get their knight out, which is very normal. You get your knight out, and they further develop with their pawns. And then you get your bishop. And really, to me, that is the essence of the London system. Yes, we're going to move this pawn up here in a minute as well, which kind of completes the system. If they challenge this bishop, it's better to move this bishop back 1. Then you can take it with this pawn or that pawn, depending on what you have going. This pawn, if you want to get your bishop over here and then have visibility to lift your bishop, depending on which side they castle. But, lift your rook depending on which side they castle, and then you get your pawn up. And to me, that is the essence right here of the London system. You've got your pawn structure, your bishop's up, and then of course you can get your knight out however that you want to play the knight, depending on what else is going on here. And it's a very powerful opening. Then the next opening is the King's Indian for black. It's a very quick way to develop the board and get your pieces set up for attack and defense. Queen's pawn up to d6, and then you get your pawn up to g6. They get their knight out. You get your knight out. They get then we have 3 knights out, and then you get your bishop up to fianchetto. It's so powerful to have your fianchetto here. It's amazing how often that avenue gets open, and you get to take the rook, or challenge the rook at least. Then they move their bishop up, and you castle, and there we go. That's the King's Indian. It's very powerful. I've used it a lot, and I've had great success with this particular opening as well. Bonus feature number 1. This is a way to just absolutely win as black. So they get their king's pawn up. You get king's pawn. It looks like you're going to copy them like an absolute beginner chess player. You get your knight up. And they say, wow, I've got a free pawn. And so they take it like candy to them. Get your knight out. They're going to take it. You retake with your pawn. There's different options. And then they go ahead and get this pawn up to protect here so that you can't take it with your knight. Then you get your bishop out. Looks like a nonsense move, and yet this is going to play a key role because you're going to end up pinning that pawn against the knight in just a minute. So they get their bishop out. They're ready to castle. You make another move here that looks like you don't know what you're doing, and they castle. And then you get your knight up. And what do you think you're going to do with the knight? The knight, there's nothing that you can do. Matter of fact, they challenge your knight, and you're going to let them take it. You get your queen up. It's like, good grief, you didn't even protect your knight. What were you doing? Well, you have an ulterior motive in mind. They take, you take, and now, if you went here, it would be checkmate. So they say, well, no problem. And they go to defend that and say, well, you can't take it because I'll just retake here, not realizing this is pinned. And so you go here, and it is checkmate. Almost surefire way to win as black. Really a lot of fun. When you see that pattern opening up, give it a try and see what you think. And then here is my current favorite opening called the Owen's Defense. And they get their pawn up. You get your pawn here. You're going to get ready to fianchetto this entire area. And they get their other pawn out. And they think, again, they think that they've got the entire center. And they don't really. And so then you get your bishop up to fianchetto. They get their knight out to protect here. They think they're good. Then you get this pawn up here. You're getting ready to get your bishop out. You get your bishop over here to pin the knight. So they get another knight out to protect the pawn and, of course, the normal development. You get your bishop here, and it's a hard pin. And that really frees you up to take that in a minute. What they do, if they challenge your bishop, go ahead and just take the knight. And they take, and then you get this pawn. You're one up, but you also got a lot of power. It's a fantastic opening. Use it. Enjoy it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you.